extremely shaken at the moment, and that'll pass once I start getting some words out. But just asking for your forgiveness in the first few minutes until I settle into any sort of flow or rhythm. It's important. It's important to make this live stream that I didn't realise, because my life is a humongously pivotal point in time, and I need to be able to think today. And let's just say I haven't been able to think. I half thought as I just picked up the phone spontaneously and decided to make a live stream, that I'd be talking about my unpleasant events in UK NHS Hospital A&E again last night, and the atrocious behaviour. To be honest, I've been putting down the NHS, but it's not the NHS. The NHS have got faults in many obvious areas, one being the mental health system as a whole. But when the people that work for the NHS are all fucked in their heads to the extent that they are, there's no wonder it doesn't ever get fixed. So you can't ever blame a broken, fucked system like the NHS. That's probably the best in the world at what it does, but it's miles away from being adequate to human standards. And the people just, they're on a different wavelength to being human. It's like, we're human, and this is what it means to be human, and we're going to do this, that and the other because we're human, and because we're nurses and doctors, and because we have hearts. But it's so obvious when you meet someone that works for the NHS and they're in the right place, and then 2 minutes you meet someone who thinks they're human. It's unfortunate. But I suppose that's the NHS's fault as well. They don't give the people the appropriate training to be human beings in the first place, because the world fucks that the moment we're born. But the truth is, my own personal circumstances are such an extent that I need to find answers today, because what I've been experiencing is a course in torture, and I've taken only so much of the course that I can take. And unfortunately, my own personal circumstance is that I wish to leave the course. It doesn't make fucking sense to suffer and learn through torture when I could learn through miracles. I'm sure some people out there that likely worship Satan and the dark side might appreciate this, but that's just not my cup of tea. And if it's a course, I suppose that's the obvious question. Is it a fucking course? Or is it just torture? Either way, I have a picture of where my life is at. I have a picture of where my mind believes I am at within a world that tells you a million possibilities without giving you fixed answers. No wonder the people at the NHS go astray. For myself, I have a fixed picture of where I am at within those million possibilities. And I could be very well wrong. but I'm also sincere. With that sincerity to life, honesty, knowing that I'm not perfect, knowing that as much as I try to be a good person, I've also got a lot of bad characteristics, like my foul language, which just pours out my mouth, and I don't have the strength to hold back right in this moment to say fuck, cunt, bitch, and everything else. I need to find a solution to my really strange predicament that I believe has a simple answer, because my situation is very complex and it's a problem. And my uncle told me simple solutions to complex problems. Now, there are many simple answers to my problem, but unfortunately within the context that is the wider scope of my life, those simple answers just aren't possible. And I keep trying, and the simple answers keep disappearing as possibilities. And I keep resorting to more complex means to find myself away from those problems. I tend to always go back to family in these really pressured moments, but in honesty, given everything I've lived, there are 3 people at the moment that I have a possibility of contacting: my auntie, my uncle, and my sister. My uncle has been here by my side, but life has said to me, for reasons of my imperfection and my bad side, no longer to use my uncle as that place to go to in these times. My auntie has shown me the level of her insanity and her illness, the same as the people in the NHS, is that she's not one to rely on in these times. Let's just say my auntie is a rock, has been a rock for my whole life. And the most obvious simple thing that I could ever ask of my auntie, she turned me away with a very inappropriate answer. For a rock, that's like a rock becoming a gas. You're speaking to a rock and it's like you're speaking to a gas. It's like it's somebody else. So for everything that rock is, it's become corrupted. It might as well be a gas. It's not a problem if it's been a gas. If my auntie was a gas all her life, that's fine. But at least I know I'm speaking to a gas, and I know the context of how I can communicate to that gas. My sister, on the other hand, she's the one who sent me down this final road of utter torture. It was torture before, and I was unable to admit it to myself in honesty, so it's been a learning process. So maybe my sister is the teacher. So this is a very good live stream for me to be making here. It's showing signs. I think I just need to speak to my sister, because my sister has always been the last of those 3 options, because she sent me down this road. My auntie was just there and said, when I asked her for help in the time that she should have helped me in a very precious situation, "Oh, Andreas, have you looked at the sky? The birds are beautiful," something along those fucking lines. My uncle has been here as a rock when he really shouldn't have, given his own life. But as I said, as a result of my life, I know it's no longer appropriate to rely on my uncle. That's my own wisdom and my own mistakes to a certain extent. I look at those mistakes and I know what caused those mistakes, and I know the pressures I was under, and really that there was nothing I could have done. So in other words, life said no longer to rely on my uncle. So my sister's the only one I have left, and she sent me down this road. And my sister's always been a bit insane, a bit vicious, a bit mean. So it doesn't get too far away from her character. The final act, the final pain is immensely away from her character. What's constituted my life here is not my sister in the slightest, but I know within her wisdom, she was well ahead for me due to her actions. But given that it's only a phone call, and given that it is my sister that's likely to be the grand teacher here, it might be a phone call to my sister today to say, sis, and that's as far as I kind of get. I've kind of known that I need to call my sister, and I know that she's the right one to speak to out of everybody, but I don't know what to say to her. That's the feeling inside. What do you say to someone that sent you down a road to hell of utter suffering, immeasurable pain? When it comes to me, I'm going to call my sister and be honest with her. I don't believe there's any expectation of what can come from that. No solutions, no answers, but it's just the right thing to do if I need to call my sister. So, thank you for listening for 12 minutes and 28 seconds. This has been Gabriel finding the next step in the Course of Torture. I highly recommend the Course of Miracles. I've never read it. It's just got to be a shit ton better than this fucking insanity. Wish me luck.